Hi, welcome. Now I'm going to show you how to calculate the frequencies for a set of class intervals for a given data. Okay, this example is getting the frequency using some product function. You can get the frequencies using some other functions also. In this example I'm using for some product function. Okay, what we will explore the data first. What we have is here set of students. I have as students from 1 to student 100, so I got 100 students and their respective marks. Okay, so now what my objective is to get those students having marks in between 1 and 10. Similarly, those students, how many students has taken marks between 11 to 20 and so on. So each interval we want the number of students whose marks lie between the within the interval. Okay, so that is our objective. And I will explain to you what is SumProduct function. When in SumProduct function we give two arrays, array1 and array2. What it does is that it will multiplies each respective elements. For example, in this case, which is I'll put it as manually and explain to you. It will do first element of array1 and into first element of array 2. Similarly, for second element of array 1 and the second element of array 2 plus third element of array 1 into third element of array 2 and sum it together. In this case what we have is 20. Okay, so if you pass array1 is nothing but a set of numbers, then the array2, then it will multiplies the corresponding elements, and then finally it adds them together. Okay, this is manually we did it. We use SumProduct and find out it gives the same answer. In manual part you are doing one by one. In SumProduct you just pass the array, so it accepts or the SumProduct accepts arguments as array1, array2 and so on. Okay, it's a set of arrays, and the next array is this, and close the bracket. You see 20. So this is the way SumProduct works. Now there is one characteristic of SumProduct function is that you can instead of array, you can also send directly a condition. Okay, a condition is nothing but a logical operator condition. You can send it directly inside the SumProduct array. For example, this one, you can array1 can be a condition. Okay, you can very well say this array1 is greater than 2. Okay, what is this? Okay, what you are doing here is you are giving a condition. You are checking the array1 is greater than 2. That means each element in array1 it checks with whether it is greater than 2. If it is greater than 2, it will put true. If it is less than 2 or equal to 2, the condition is false, it will put false. Okay, so instead of giving the array and checking with a logical condition, then you will get a set of true or false. Okay, so what is this array? Now this array is nothing but I am going to write it down here. Array1 is h2 is greater than 2. Okay, why we are typing directly greater than or less than sign instead of using if statement? Now if statement is not needed. Now it is very much simplified that you just type a logical operator, then automatically it returns whether it is true or false. Last time we used to do this one using if if this condition is true, then true, if not, else false. But you can simply type the logical operator, it will come up with true or false. So okay, this the array 1 is greater than 2, false, true. Okay, 3 is greater than 2, so it is true, the other things are false. So when you type this kind of condition, now this is nothing but the whole array, okay, of false, false, true. So the array 1 now becomes, when you check, it will become a boolean of true or false. Okay, so this is nothing but you are sending a set of true and false. While checking, it will check for each element and send the whole set into the sum product. Okay, so this is the way you can send a boolean true or false inside the sum product. But the thing is, when you send true or false, when you do this one with again some other array, then you may not able to multiply, it may not do the product, it will come up with a 0. But what you need to do is, this true or false needs to be converted to 0 and 1s if you want to do a product. Okay, that one I'll show to you in that one I'll show to you in detail, how to convert this one to 0 and 1s. Okay, so this is the way you can pass the condition inside the sum product. Now what I'm going to show you, for each interval we need to type in some sum product formula to get the number of frequencies within that interval. Okay, before that, for what we're going to do, we are going to pass marks into every time in every interval. So we will define a name for marks. Okay, all the marks, we just define a name. Select all the marks, right click, define name, just put some name. This, it also Excel itself suggests marks because our header is marks. Okay, marks. Okay, so now I'm going to pick frequency for each interval. So I'm going to show you first in manually how we are calculating frequencies inside a particular interval. Then I will make sure that logic is adopted into some product function. Okay, this one I'm going to show you the example of 51 to 60, how I am going to get the frequency. So for that, I just do it for 10 students separately. I'll show to you. Once you understood that, then we will come here and do it for all the students. Okay, go here. So what I have is 10 students, the same thing, a subset of the full 100 students. I took the data student 1 to student 10 and marks. Okay, so my objective is to find the frequency of 51 to 60. Okay, so for that, what I'm doing here is that I'm going to check the whether it is the mark is greater than 51 as well as is less than 60. First individually greater than 51 and less than 60, then I'm going to combine together both the conditions. Okay, first I'll check it for lower bound. Is it greater than 51? So the first element is greater than or equal to 51. It comes with the true yes. Similarly for all the elements, 95 yes, everything. 45 absolutely no, because it is less than 51. So we are having a set of values which state that whether this mark is satisfy the lower bound. Okay, which is 51. Similarly, we are going to do the upper bound. is it less than 60? True, yes. Okay, we are going to do the upper bound. Okay, so these two conditions, one is greater than the lower bound 51, and is it less than 60? Okay, so we have two different conditions here. So out of these two different conditions, we are going to check trues and true. Okay, if it is greater than 51, must be true, and also less than 60 is true, then only you will get that student belongs to this interval, right? So we have true and true, true and true. Then what else you have? True and true. Only two students belong to this interval, so we must now do whether both of them are true. So what here in some product function we are not doing and condition, which is nothing but here we, once you change this true and true to 0 and 1s, and false to zeros for these two set of conditions, and multiply both of them, you will get 1 for only these two conditions are satisfied. Okay, I'll show you this one. First I will change this one to 0 and 1s. How to change true or false to 0 and 1, which is very simple. Just apply double binary, double unary operator. Unary operator is nothing but a single hyphen. Okay, single hyphen is unary. If you apply twice, double 2 times, then true or false become 1 and 0. True is 1. See, so when you apply unary operator on true or false, it converts that one to number. Okay, then you are applying it twice to make sure it is 1 for true and 0 for false. Okay, this is the trick involved here. And when you see in formulas double unary operators, you don't need to be panic. You just say it is converting the true or false into numbers, so 1 and 0. Similarly for 60, double unary true. Okay, so you already converted these to 1 and zeros. Now what you need to do is you need to get a product. The product is nothing but multiplication of this and this. The first condition into the second condition. Similarly for all the condition, all the cells, you will see when you do the product 1 and 1, if both conditions satisfied, it will have 1. If one of them is false, then it will automatically have a 0, so the multiplication will give a 0. So only those students whose mark lie between 51 and 60 have 1 in the product. Okay, the others will have 0. This way, this one identifies, the product identifies those students lying between 51 and 60. Okay, now you sum it up all the products. What will happen? If you sum it up all the products, you will automatically get 2 number of students lie between 51 and 60. Okay, this is the logic here. We are going to use the same logic into some product function, but here what we did it for each element here. So instead what we are going to do, we are going to pass the array. So we are not going to pass only true and false. We are going the conditions for lower and upper bound. We are also convert that to 0 and 1, so that the function will do the product, then give sum. So this is the example for 51 to 60 class interval. So we are going to generalize for all the class intervals. So we go to do the first class interval, some product of what we are going to do. We are going to do the lower bound condition. You can see here lower bound condition, and then the upper bound condition. Convert that one to 0 and 1s by double unary, and do the product and sum. Okay, so the lower bound condition, what is our range? Range is full marks. Okay, there I shown only 10 students, 10 students marks. Here we need to do it for all the students, okay, which is nothing but we already defined the name marks greater than. Once you type marks, you can see it is highlighted already. Marks greater than or equal to first condition, which is lower bound condition, is 1. Same time apply the double unary. Okay, similarly for upper bound condition. Okay, you already sending two arrays, these two arrays, this array and this array. Okay, this part is automatically done by SumProduct function, multiplication of each element and adding and giving the sum. So that sum is nothing but the frequency. Okay, so this one you can see each element is this array. You are sending to SumProduct this array. Okay, this is what happening here. I am sending two arrays with the lower and upper bound with the double unary. Okay, then the same thing for it, come up with one. Only one student belongs to this class interval. Okay, this is 11 to 20. Okay, now this one 21 to 30, 31 to 40, 41 to, if you already put lower bounds and upper bounds in two different columns, then you can simply refer those cells and it will be easier instead of typing. One to 60, 61 to 70, 71 to 80, 81 to 90, 91 to 100. You see, now we got using SumProduct function, it's easily done. Okay, we just to pause the lower bound, upper bound, and automatically it does all the logics here, the product and the addition. Okay, so when you see double binary operator minus minus in your formulas, don't be panic. It is nothing but it converting. It gets input of arrays of true and false, and it converts that one to 0 and 1s. Okay, now you see whether the sum gives addition of frequencies. Is it 100? Yes, we got 100 students, and the frequency, the total number of frequencies supposed to be 100. Okay, this way you can use some product function to get class intervals and the frequency distribution. I hope this video is very helpful to you to work around, or to be a starting point for finding frequencies. And if you like my videos, press like, and uh, if you have any comments or suggestions, please state it in comment section. It is open, and God bless you.